Mark, could you just remind me first of all when your brain injury was and what happened?
So it was around about a year ago from now. I'd be coming out of hospital. But I guess my speech, I'd be stuttering and stammering my words,
Mm-hmm.
which I'll try not to do now. But
No,
but,
that's fine.
but yeah, it's kind of is what it is. I guess it affects my MCing. I would say
Yeah,
I used to be a fast over drum and bass MCing. That used to be quick, but now I have to slow it down a bit. So more like hip hop kind of tempo or something like that.
yeah. So you've been a pretty good MCer in your time, haven't you? You won um, a competition a
Yeah,
few
back
years ago.
bands. Yeah, yeah, in 2012 that was.
Yeah.
So yeah, good things though, good things.
Yes. So about a year ago, you had a brain injury. So it was a motorcycle accident.
Yeah,
Um, and it's definitely affected your speech. So sometimes you will stutter, and you don't have the same confidence, I think you said, in your speech.
that's it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And definitely you find it affects your MCing, so you can't MC as fast as you used to. Anything else with your MCing that it affects?
My memory can be not as good as it used to be. So some lyrics I can forget.
Mm-hmm.
I sort of have to look back at where I wrote them down to be able to remember them.
Yeah. Yeah.
But,
Okay. And how about we know you can't go as fast, and I know you sometimes say there's an issue with timing as well, that it's much harder to time yourself or stick to time.
yeah, so, yeah.
Okay, brilliant. So tell me a bit more about your memory overall. So how has your brain injury affected your memory?
Um, so I can't really remember a great deal of certain things, like when I was coming out of the brain trauma.
Mm-hmm.
It is brain trauma, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. Um, yeah, so I can't really remember a great deal of stuff. Apparently, I was speaking to people and talking, but not the same as I'm talking now. So, I mean, my speech has improved, but it was at a stage that I can't really remember a lot. I can't really remember a lot of hospital now, thinking about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Um, and we've also said in the past, haven't we, that I'm just looking at my notes on my other screen, that so if, for example, I asked you what you did at the weekend, so,
yeah,
you need to really think about and remember what happened. And sometimes you might need someone to prompt you. And also, though you generally remember things like appointments, you need help with remembering the exact date, time, who it is.
yeah, I guess it's being exact with my memory.
Yeah,
I struggle with, like, it can be up and down, I would say.
yeah, yeah. Um, I know that we've definitely noticed when we're having conversations about you telling me a story about something that happened in the past, sometimes you need family members or your mum to fill in that extra bit of information.
Yeah,
Uh, Although if it's something quite dramatic, like kind of something's gone wrong with a friendship or something like that, you usually do remember
yeah, yeah,
most of the bits.
that's true. It's very true.
So, yeah. Okay. So can you tell me, we've talked a bit about being quite impulsive after your brain injury. So can you tell me a bit more about that?
So, I guess if it was late at night and I got offered to go back to someone's house, if it was normality, I would say no, I've had enough, and I'll go home and go to bed.
Yeah.
But sometimes I've carried on and gone out because they wanted to themselves.
Yeah.
Where that's their outlook on it, and that was my go, but not so good, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I know that we've said that prior to your brain injury, you might have been a little bit impulsive, but definitely worse now.
Yeah,
Um, and if someone wants you to go out, even though you know it might not be the best thing to do, you are far more likely to do that now.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's it.
We and you said last, when we were talking about this last, you can be quick to make decisions without thinking of the outcome, which I thought was a really good way to put it.
That's it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I don't really think, I should think things through a lot more than I do, I guess, is the answer.
Yeah. We also talked about if you lose things, then that can kind of become like a big thing that it needs to be resolved before you can do anything else. It can be become quite stressful.
Yeah, that's it. I get really stressed out by losing small things that really doesn't matter, like keys.
Mm-hmm.
They'll be upstairs in my room, but I won't be able to find them straight away. So then it's more like I have to find them, otherwise I can't relax.
Yeah, no, that makes sense, definitely. Okay, and then tell me more about your tiredness, your fatigue after brain injury.
Um, yeah, I definitely notice it most days. I mean, waking up is definitely different because I wake up, but I'm still tired, I would
Yeah,
say.
yes,
So the mornings can be hard to kind of get into a waking up stage, but then by like 3, 4 o'clock is usually when I start waking up.
yeah,
It's quite bad when I get up at like 10.
yes, yes,
A
yeah,
lot of time for a day.
yeah. Yes, and we discussed it takes you a long time to get to that good wake up point.
Yeah.
And also, how does that then affect your hunger and breakfast and lunch?
So I very rarely wake up with an appetite, I would
Yeah,
say. Like I used to wake up and look forward to cereals or breakfast, and now I just kind of have to sit there and make myself eat it because I know I need to, but I don't feel the need to, if that makes sense.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
strange.
it is strange, isn't it? And we were also saying that as well as kind of not feeling rested in the morning, taking a long time to wake up, um, also when you do something that involves kind of mental, like using your mind to think, that makes you really tired as well.
It can do, yeah, for sure.
Can you think of an example at all?
Um, Not off the top of my head, no.
That's what I was thinking of when we've had meetings before, when there've been big team meetings and you've been quite exhausted after that and needed to sleep.
Yeah, we took quite a long time on one of them, didn't we? It was
Yeah,
sort of an hour and 3 quarters or something like that, and I was
yeah,
really like struggling when it got towards the end of it. I was very sleepy.
yes, yeah. Um, um, and how about kind of your nighttime sleep? How restful is that?
So for a big stage, it'll be restful enough, but usually about 6, I'll sort of wake up and turn over, and then I'll be like awake from around 6 o'clock, but not like in a deep sleep, I would say.
Yeah,
So deep sleep, solid through till like 6 o'clock, and then in the mornings it's like a light sleep that I
yeah,
can't get back to the deep sleep I was in.
yeah, yeah. Tricky, really tricky. Um, all right, and then we were going to talk a little bit about thinking and planning. Um, so you were saying that your thinking can either be very positive or very negative.
Yeah, it's one or the other, definitely.
Yeah. So then that then sets the scene for how the day will be, you find?
Yeah, yeah. Unfortunately, I do. Yeah, I mean, a lot of the time, I would like to ignore my brain and thoughts, but it's not always what you can do. So I kind of have to carry on with how my mind goes.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Um, and we were saying that also planning things takes more effort than before.
Yes, I would say it does. Yeah, for sure.
So you quite often need kind of help from your family or your mum to kind of plan what you're going to do that day, what you need to leave the house.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, what I
Yeah,
need to leave the house. I mean, every time I go to leave the house, it's like I have to do a checklist of all the things that I need,
yeah,
my phone and my keys and my wallet, and it's a
yeah,
long list. But
yeah.
yeah, I kind of
And
get get it set in my mind so that every time I leave the house, I'm like, have I got everything? And I have to check back through it. Like,
Yeah. And this is something that would not have happened before your brain injury. Would you have just left the house without a second thought, with everything you needed?
yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, okay. And then we were going to talk a little bit about friendships and relationships with family. So, what have you found since your brain injury? What has changed about friendships and family relationships?
So some friendships I've had have got stronger,
Yeah.
or got weaker, like some that were just not meant to be type thing. So you kind of
Yeah.
go our separate ways and carry on. But I mean, I wish them all the best, whether you've fallen out with me or not. You know, like
Yeah. Yeah. So yes, we did discuss, didn't we, that some friendships have got really strong, which is amazing, and then some have fallen away. And what about kind of um, I think we've said that you've had more arguments with people since your brain injury.
yeah. Um,
Why is that, do you think?
I guess it's like if anybody tries to wind me up now, it definitely works.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, Not that it didn't used to work, but yeah, it's challenging because it's like a big change as to how things used to be.
Yeah. Yeah. So definitely, I think we've talked about kind of your fuse point is a lot shorter than it would have been before.
Yeah,
So yeah. Um, and we've also said that your brain injury is really hidden, that people that didn't know you before your brain injury wouldn't necessarily know that you've had a brain injury.
yeah,
They're not making allowances for the fact that you've had a brain injury. And some of your friends just don't remember.
yeah, true. Yeah,
Or if they do remember, they don't remember that it affects things like your kind of short fuse and things like that. They don't necessarily realize that some of the ways that you're being is because of your brain injury.
yeah,
So,
true. Yeah,
yeah. Um, and I think we had positive things to say about your family.
yeah,
Because one of the things you said is your relationship with your mum has got better and you're closer.
yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, my mum's here every day, sort of watching my back type thing.
Yeah,
I feel weird because I'm 28 years old. I shouldn't really need that now, but my mum really is a diamond. You know,
yeah,
she's a
she
lovely
is.
person, so it's lovely to be able to go through each day and have her by my side, I would say.
Yeah, yes, that's lovely. And I think you were saying you were a bit of a closed book with your mum before, but you're much more open now.
Yeah, yeah. I never used to I sort of used to do my own thing, just take off out of the house and do my own thing. Whereas now I'm a lot more honest about everything I'm doing and
Yeah,
a lot more outspoken about things that are bothering me and so
yeah,
on and so forth.
yeah, yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so then we were saying we were thinking about what advice would you give to someone who's waking up with a brain injury in hospital?
Um, Really good question, isn't it?
Yes.
What would I give to them? I guess I would say to them just to kind of breathe and take time and have faith in yourself.
Hmm.
Because I mean, it might be a long time before you feel like yourself again. But I think if your mind is strong and your heart is strong, I think you can pull yourself into the place that you need to be.
Yeah, that's brilliant advice. Um, and you also, some notes I made when we chatted about this before, is said it's going to be an interesting next year of your life, which I thought was a good thing to say. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Um, um, and the final thing we were going to talk about today is this special circumstances of 2020. So, how has coronavirus impacted your recovery from brain injury?
Um, quite a lot, I would say, because to do this on its own would be hard, and then to have that added on top, coronavirus as well, it's like, yeah, double barrel. Like,
Yeah.
there's a lot going on.
There is a lot going on, yes. And when we discussed this last week, you said it's kind of been scary times for you,
Yeah,
but also for the whole world. So two bad things have happened at the same time. And we were saying just now, weren't we, that if it wasn't for coronavirus, you would probably be out and doing things more than you're able to at the moment,
absolutely.
which hasn't really helped your mood to be indoors as much as you have been.
That's
Um,
very
yeah. Um, okay, brilliant. Thank you, Mark. That was so helpful.
right. Thank you very much.